Hey guys, Marshall with Kingslayer Cards, the Beast. I'm here with Noah Wright. He went undefeated in our 2K cash tournament today during Swiss. What deck were you playing today?
Playing Lyrical Monasterio, powerful.
Wow. Talk about a dark horse. All right, so we're here to give you a profile, so we're going to get right into it.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to show you the right line. So for the right line, we play one of the cutie topic Rebecca. Pretty standard, you know, it's pretty much just you go second, you're drawing a card. So then we also have our grade 1. So her name is Lauren Nage. She's pretty good. So on Vanguard or Rear Guard, once per turn, she can Soul Blast 1, and you discard a card and draw a card. Then her other skill, powerful, if she's on Vanguard, when you would go to ride your grade 2 from the right line, if you have no cards in your soul, you can, rather than discard, you can play for free.
Okay.
And then we have our grade 2, and this is going to be Martinez, and she's a pretty good like grade 2 turn attacker, because on Vanguard or Rear Guard, if you have a Vanguard with the powerful ability, she's going to get 2k. Then, same as the grade 1, if you have no soul, rather than discard, you can just go to your grade 3 for free. And then we finally have Coming Beauty Herminia as our main grade 3. So she's really good, and what she does is, first, she has the ability to counterblast. So for every counterblast you play, and it's not once per turn, you can gain 5k power to her. Then, at the end of the battle that she swings, if you have no cards in your soul and no face-up counterblast, you can discard a card and choose a rear guard with the powerful ability and stand it back up. So this gets you a total of 4 attacks at most in this deck.
Okay, multi-attack is always good in the standard format.
Yep. All right, so we play 3. We play a grand total of 4 Herminias. We play 3 in the main deck. Pretty straightforward. It's just powerful and has a powerful ability, so it can work on rear guard, and also Persona Wright is really good.
Okay.
Yep. Next, probably like the cornerstone of the deck, / not really, Turris. So powerful. When this card attacks, if you have no cards in your soul, you can counterblast 1, and it gets the ability, when this card hits, you can draw a card, and you can choose a card and give it 5k power. Now, mind you, the on hit is the draw ability. You still give 5k to something no matter what, even if you don't hit. So she's pretty good. She's pretty good. If you Persona Wright, she's 23, or if you hit the over, and she gives 5k to something, so it's really good. And she has an on hit pressure, so we can build up hand.
Okay.
Right. Next, we play one of Liliana. So she's a really good card. I only really have her at 1, mainly because there are a bunch of other cards that I wanted to play over her. But when I see her, she's a really good card. So what she does is, when this card attacks, if I have no cards in my soul, powerful, counterblast 1, she gets 10k power for that battle.
Okay.
So pretty good attacker just overall. All right. Now, the main card of the deck, we play Miai. Yes, that is the name, Nada. So what she does is, when this card is placed on rear, not from hand, just on rear, counterblast 1, choose a card from your soul and call it the rear guard. Then I have to discard a card for every card that's in my soul. So, however, I'm never really going to have souls, so it's always 0. Then powerful. When this unit attacks, if my opponent is grade 3 or greater, she gets 5k power. So she's a 15k attacker. She calls stuff from soul, so I don't have to waste hand. And she's just a really good cornerstone card, especially if I go against Barrow, because I can just call out another copy and just keep using the skill. All right, next we play 2 Happy Tigger. So she's really good, only for like shield value. That's all she is. Powerful if I have no cards in my soul, 5k shield. Then the 10k shield has actually come in handy a lot. Like, there are a lot of games where I needed the 10k shield, and she came in handy if I didn't have to draw.
Yes, one of the big things about Overdress is there are no 10k shields unless do effects.
All right, next we play 4 Burgeoning Tone Signe. So she's pretty much the main booster in this deck. So powerful, when this unit boosts, I can counterblast 1 and give 5k to another rear guard. And I had to have no cards in soul for the powerful to be active. Then her second skill, which is probably the best thing about her, after this card boosts, if I have a Vanguard with the powerful ability, I can stand this unit back up, then choose a card from my soul and send it to drop. So not only does she restand for a second attack when I use her Minia skill, I can also keep using the ability because her Minia also diminishes counterblast after she uses her skill. Pretty much the best booster you could have in this deck.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next, we play, as I said, 3 more of the Wright line grade 1 because it works on rear and it's just a really good card. It helps you get rid of soul and lets you fix your hand. All right. Now, here's like the spicy tech cards. I'm playing 3 of our area. So, she's pretty much like the standard Bermuda card. So, I usually play her during my grade 2 turns most of the time. So, when this card boosts, if the attack hits, I can bounce her back to hand. So, I get some shield value back, and if I ever needed to discard with, say, like her, I have a target now.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we play 2 of Iveta, the friend grade 1. So she's pretty good on place. When this card is placed in a column, if you have another rear guard, that rear guard and this rear guard become friends. And then her rear guard skill that's continuous. If you have a card with friend in the same column, she gets 2k. So she's a 10k booster.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty good backup booster. She also works as an attacker too, if I just need an attacker.
Yes.
But know that I can't stand her because she's friend, not powerful.
Yeah.
And then we play 1 of the Legion. So basically, what she does is we play Oracle Think Tank now. So when she boosts, I get to look at top card, and then I get to decide if I want to put it to top or bottom. However, she has to boost on rear. She cannot boost Vanguard and use the skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Having a restanding rear guard makes that pretty good.
Well, she's more just to look at like the top and fix if I want to get a trigger or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and she pretty much always guaranteed me the over trigger. Then for your standard PG, it's pretty much the only kind of PG you want to run in standard, 2 or less pitch draw.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Because next week, for those who don't know at the time of recording, we're a week out from the new trial decks, and with the new trial decks, we get a new blitz order.
Yep. All right, 1 of the Lyrical Overtrigger. So if you don't know what it does, when this is played offensively, give 100 million something, draw a card, and then for the rest of that game, all my rear guards get 10k power. So this pretty much makes this deck a whole lot better if I hit this. And what it does is, like, all my columns are kind of swinging big, especially on Persona Right turn. So hitting this, I'm swinging in the 40s easy. 50s would also be easy, and then any triggers I add on, it's just going to make it even better.
Mm.
Then we play 4 of the new draw from set 2, 10k shield if my opponent's grade 3. And the deck really needs a lot of draw power because we're discarding from hand, so you want to play 4. All right, next, playing total of 7 crit because, like, I had to, like, tell everyone about this. Like, I do not like fronts in this deck. Like, fronts would be good, but they don't really amount to much. I'd rather just kill my opponent quickly.
Crits kill people, and the draw is more important.
Yep, and then 4 heal.
Okay.
So, if you want, I can show you, like, most of, like, the most standard, like, setup for this deck.
If you want to show just a generic grade 3 turn, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll go with the one where, like, we're on grade 3. So, like, pretty much the most generic grade 3 turn kind of looks like this for the most part for almost all my games. So usually, depending on what my opponent is doing, I'll either have just save and just go with this, or I'll just go all out. Now, usually, if I see it, she's a really good card to have, and like she would be the best thing. But since she's a one of, I'm gonna be more practical and say this and this are the main things that you're gonna see. So how this works is, so let's just give us some counter blasts. Say we got 3 and one's already been used. So usually we're gonna swing here. Both of these are gonna activate. So usually you wanna do her first, counter blast 1, and you're gonna get 5K. Let's say you're gonna get 5K here because it's just 13K. And then you're gonna use this skill to get 5K here. So you're either gonna rip away like a 15K guard, or they're gonna eat it and you're gonna draw a card. And then as usual at the end, this is gonna stand back up. Now, this is gonna swing, you gave it 5K, it's gonna be 18K, then let's say you hit a critical. Let's say you hit a critical and the crit's gonna go here. Now, depending on how you wanna do this, you can get the 10K here and then focus on her skill and get 5K over here. So then this swings even bigger. Or you can give it here, stand this, and it still won't matter, but you can get the 5K here to make the attack bigger, because the 5K from this still stays. So usually I would just do this, then you discard a card, stand it back up, swing, use skill again, and next counter blast was reduced thanks to Arminia, so 5K right here. And then as usual, her skill, she gets 5K power, so she's gonna be 20, then boosted by an 8K, so 28. So like most of these attacks, they hit magic numbers.
Okay.
Your Vanguard almost doesn't matter if it hits or not. Like if they let it hit, they let it hit. But your rear guards are your main thing. Like these are the magic numbers right here.
Yes.
This, and most of my games, it honestly came down to the Vanguard swing, which was very shocking for me. Like I was more focused on these, but my opponents would either do 2 to pass or no pass at 3, and I would just double crit or get the 2.
Yep.
Yep.
As I always say, crits kill people.
Yep. Like it's like the deck is really fun. Like I thoroughly had fun playing this deck today.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I don't think I had any real like bad matchups. Like and like no matchups where I was just like, oh, I really didn't want to play this, because for game 1, it was I went against Kyrie, and I 2-0'd him. Then next game, I went against. Give me a sec. For the life of me, it's like slipping from me.
You're good.
Zorga, and I'm not gonna lie, the Zorga matchup was very difficult, and I was not expecting to be as difficult, but I still 2-0'd him. Second game really came down to just me hitting the over trigger early, and all my attacks were just doing a lot. Like I rushed him. Third game, played my first Flagberg. Same as the Zorga game, I 2-0'd him. First game, he had no way to really guard any of my attacks. They were swinging too big. Second game, over trigger on grade 2 turn really just made my grade 3 turns pop off more, and it just ripped hand from him. Fourth game, another Flagberg. This was my only 2-1 until top 8. And this really came down just us hitting triggers, because neither of us were really doing much. Like we just both swung a lot, and it honestly just came down to triggers at that point, and I just squeezed it out.
Yes.
And then final game, I went against Nirvana and 2-0'd the opponent. And the funny thing about this one was that game 1, I technically should have been in a bad boat, but when he pinged me for damage, I defensive over triggered.
That'll do it.
Yeah, so, and he guarded with the over trigger beforehand, so he had no way to really like kill me.
The turn was just over at that point.
And then for that, I just Persona Road and just swung really big.
Okay.
Then second game, Honestly, I just kept myself at low damage and kept pushing him to high damage, and he was forced to guard because I was really hitting the triggers, and he really didn't want me to, as I said, he didn't really want me to hit with her, because if I did, I was going to draw more cards than he could do. He did the grade 1 play and got the grade 4, but by that point, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And most of his drive checks were kind of dry anyway, and anytime he swung with his Vanguard, he had no boost. I would guard, and he would hit a crit, so the crit never went through.
That's understandable. That's how the game we play.
Yeah. And then top 8, I went against Gravidia. Lost game 1, he went first, so he just had the best setup, and he got 5 meteors off easy. Game 2 was a bit better, and I got to go first, and I was able to push him early in damage, and overall just ease it out with just the big numbers. And then finally, game 3, I was hitting triggers like crazy, but Gravidia still wipes board, and this deck, while it is fun, it's super reliant on having a board, and we can't really like replenish it as good as Kyrie.
I've noticed that's one of the biggest problems with a lot of the lyrical decks is they don't really handle board wipes very well. Even Kyrie herself doesn't handle board wipes very well.
Yeah, even Kyrie doesn't do it well. And my thing with Kyrie is that I could have played Kyrie today. Like, my friend wasn't going to play it, but my thing with Kyrie is that if I don't get the grade 4, if I don't see the grade 4, I'm not doing anything. And then I have to Persona Ride, and I know they're not going to play Persona Rides.
That is understandable.
Yep.
So, so this was the invitational. This was the 2K invitational that you went undefeated in.
Yep.
But you ended up losing in top cut. Unfortunate. But how did you feel about like the event today, and then just the circuit season as a whole over this past year?
Circuit season was actually really fun, and I enjoyed it. The community was healthy, like everyone was chill. There was no real like big judge calls. Like everything was like gonna be handled like bad. And I got my invite in the first 2 for set 1 and set 2, and both of those times it was like again really fun. Like the organizers handled everything really well. Everything was pretty balanced and fun. Like if anything needed to be changed or addressed, they would address it. And the time protocols were also really good. And today especially, I noticed that without really like taking like a lunch break, we were able to get through this a lot faster than you usually would. Plus, they modified it so we didn't have to play the 6th round, so we were able to go into like round 5, finish it, and just go to top 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just a couple of questions before we head out. Is there anything you're interested in Lyrical Set 3 that's going to be coming out soon for this deck?
Yes, there are 2 cards that are coming out for this. One is a grade 2, On Swing, Counterblast 2. Big heavy cost, but it gives itself 10k power, and if I have a powerful Vanguard, I get a drive check. So this actually fixes one of the big weaknesses, which was like hand. So now I basically have a way to attack, get a drive check, and this is also a bigger thing because I could hit the over, I could hit a trigger and make this attack even scarier.
All right.
And it's also a really good card because it also has the ability to Soul Blast, and I can give my Vanguard 5k.
Okay.
Yeah, so it does everything for us.
That sounds pretty. That sounds pretty good.
Yep. And then there's one more card we have. Grade 1, it's powerful, pretty standard. When this card boosts the Vanguard, choose a normal unit from your drop, put it at the bottom, and then at the end I can put it to the bottom of the deck and then draw a card.
Okay, so recycling, that's pretty good. All right. So last question I have, is there any shout outs or anything you want to make?
First, I want to make a shout out to pretty much everyone at Team Eclipse and Team Kingslayer because for helping me out. A lot of these cards I actually ordered from Kingslayers, so yeah. And shout out to my friend Nick Larson who made me play this deck today because I was actually going to play Bruce, but I was like, yeah, I know this deck inside and out. Let's see how we do. And
who plays Bruce anymore? Am I right?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and like 3 special shout outs to Donovan Moda Evan Garms, and of course Marshall, the man, the beast himself. Always giving me the support because it's been kind of like a real rough time through these past few years, and like Marshall, Evan, and them know. So just giving me the support and wishing me all the luck and believing in me, like it meant the world.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. All right, guys. There you have it. That was Noah Wright's deck profile for the 2K Invitational from Kingslayer Cards. We're going to see you next time. Peace.
Yep.